Okay, let's try this again. There, we're on the stream. Okay, we should be good. Game audio's on, there's picture, my mic's working. Sweet. So I tried streaming last night and didn't work out so well. We were in the part of the city to where, oh goodness, it just kept kicking me and kicking me. I had to go so far away in order to not get kicked from the server. And it didn't seem like it wouldn't help you guys, so I just cut it off without saying anything. So we're on our way to an event. There are 2 events tonight. So starting at 7 in 5 minutes, and oh jeez, this is when I need a horse. So I have to go all the way back to Stone Bay. And then at 9, there's an ethics symposium. But a lot has changed since last officially together. I'm not gonna count last night. So, soon here, the event VC should be opening. Okay, that is down. I'm gonna do this. Come on. So excited for the weekend! Yes! So we're coming up on the glades, and the glades have expanded. Very pretty. So if you remember, the last time the glades were just on the left side of the road here. Wait till you see it now. So hopefully we won't have any issues. Seeing that the event is that far off to the right, we should not have any. That's where I think it is. But as you can see, the glades have now crossed over. And we have like a little forest here. Wait, does that say the event? Oh, no. I thought, usually they say in the chat that the event VC is open. I really do need to look into a horse. Almost there. 2 minutes. It still seems quite far. Because if Stone Bay is right up here, and we're still 2,000 blocks away. So it's not where we had it last time. Uh, 9,800. Yeah, that's where it is. Let me see if the event VC is open. The answer to that is no. Is it across the way? Oh no. Are we gonna get kicked again? 1,700. Oh no. I think I know where it is. I don't have a boat for that. Oh no.
Well, some have been kind to me, and some have been rude, manners lacking. But today, we put each other to the test. See who can remain calm when quick tongues work against us. Please, find your seats.
Really iconic that he did this.
Oh, hell yeah, sushi.
Those without seats, please know, those who are rude will be removed, and you will take theirs. Let me ask one question.
There's no way up.
Is there a bug who believes they do not belong at my table? Very well. I have been informed by the god of the River Pebble that speeches are in order. A speech.
Yeah?
How peculiar. But I have prepared one. Only fitting to attempt to adapt to your customs in some ways, shapes, and forms. So I shall give it. And you will answer my questions at the end. Our time together has been short, even by the standards of bugs like you. When I arrived through the crack, I saw steel and spell. I saw your intent to hurt me and one I considered friend. Now that friend is gone. And I have invited the entirety of Kara to a table far too small. How fitting is that a month ago you wished to kill me, and now you dine alongside me. I told a story earlier to a bug who may be good, of the farmer who ventured into the shadow mirror seeking answers. His gods did not listen, his prayers did not bring about rain, so he sought more real ears for questions unanswerable. He found me in the small puddle I lorded over then and asked his questions. Why do my fields not grow? I told him. Prayer does not provide food for your soul. Death does. The most beautiful things grow where something else fell. I was asked his name earlier. When I thought time had taken from me by years uncountable, but I have remembered. Destrus. Destrus, the one I hope learned. And so I sit at the head of this table with many faces I have not seen around it, and I open to the call. What questions do you have that have gone unanswered? In my garden of life you see as death, why have you come? The gods of the river pebbles have stated stories unbelievable, and yet I will attempt to believe them. Some time ago you wished to hurt me. Why have you come to break bread with me? I will have answers.
Well, this is like my second time meeting you, actually. The first time was delivering someone they turned into a mushroom. So I suppose it's just me trying to figure out who you are and what kind of person you can be. Just get to know you, I suppose.
I will tell you I am no person, one of fire. But that is good. Come, stand and speak. Let all know who asks questions. Yes.
I just have one question, as I try to understand most things through the ethics of things, and I just wished to wonder your morals and opinions on that of ethics.
You wish to know my morals and opinions on ethics? You are dismissed from the table. Someone take his seat.
Yes, sir.
Another. Yes.
As you have stated, we have upset you, and I understand we are bugs, and so I wish to ask how you wish for us to experience to know you.
This place. This is life you see as death. I heard you all whispering amongst the branches and tones below of how this place was dead. But it is not. Mycelium and mushroom take life when things fall. This is my garden, and I wish to share it with you all. Does that answer your question, my friend?
Any answer you could give me would have answered the question, Lord.
Very well. From those who sit upon rock and stone, a question. If my sight is blocked, you may approach. Then another from the table. Ah, one speaks. This is good. Speak.
Why, if I may, why here of all places?
This island or Kara?
Kara.
Have you not been told it is special? Then let me be the first. It is special. Beauty unimaginable, untouched by mass civilization. These dotted islands. Place is secret, and I seek escape from the dreary politics of court. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
You are welcome. from the table. Have you not brought chatter to dine about? Yes. Metal.
Hello. I'm just out of curiosity. What court are you a part of? Lord Friend.
Autumn.
Understood.
Are there no more questions?
I believe somebody this end of the table wished to speak.
Then speak.
What do you believe death is?
The next beginning. That is what autumn presides over. Yes.
You had mentioned that death makes way for certain beauties to flourish, or in a sort of way, you had mentioned that. I'm wondering that now your garden's growing, what could we expect to flourish within these gardens?
Good bugs. And creatures I might bring about with me. Those who wish to escape as well. Again?
Oh, yes, apologies. To add on to it, I imagine making a home for those who wish to escape is a noble act, but what is it that these bugs seek to escape from?
The same as myself. Eons of politicking for patches of land and control. When here I can grow a garden larger than I can imagine without even bothering my neighbors. Tell me, who of you came to this island before Woolcott began their work for me? Truly. 1, 3, 5. But now its beauty can be seen, understood. Is that not a positive? Time for question has reached its end. Allow the chapter to begin. Lazuli,
Yes, my lord.
why have you come?
First, I came to apologize. How, because of my behavior towards you, it was hostile and, rude. So I came to apologize, and I wanted to know, how I could make it up to you.
This is kind. This is good. Another, why have you come?
I came for the tea.
I like knowledge. I like learning.
Agreed. I am new here. I simply wanted to meet you, I suppose.
Meet me you have. And now we give opportunity to those on rock and stone. Those seated rise. Those not
swear.
sit.
I swear, if I get here, it ends.
Watch out for the wither rose, friend.
Somebody else is here with me. I'm not the only one who's late.
Couple more seats. And have mine if
Near
you'd like as well.
Now the focus of answering and telling switches. But instead of questions of my existence, I will know of yours. Who will rise and tell me of Kara? Please speak.
I've heard this from someone else, someone of the Fae, but it is the place where things happen.
No,
I
I know of this. Tell me of your homes.
Ah. Quaint. Small.
And the people there, what are they like?
Kind. But
I see a bunch of names.
do not wish to offend. But I think that sentiment carries the message. They know what they like.
Another.
I live in a place called Gaia where there is a dedication to each spring, summer, fall, winter. And in the island of Spring, my home, I've only been there a short time.
Ooh, we're right behind him.
I wish to represent everything all at once. From the beauty of life to the beauty of death. It's been wonderful, the people who haven't heard or understood that once spoken to on a deeper manner. Understand that we cannot exist without one another, and that while some things are scary, looking at it differently, beautiful. Much to how you hold yourself, in death there is life. As one who is life from death, I hope to help the people of Kara understand something similar that you hold dear.
Maybe you are a good bug. Another, like that, story.
Yes, hi. I'm actually from York, a place on the continent of Valana. It's a place where we hold teamwork and cooperation dear to us, where we always try to be there and help each other, protect each other. It's a small little place, but we're always open for having everyone around.
Like an anthill, scurrying. But yes, I have learned from that. Come, I will learn more. Speak. You turn your heads, looking for approval from the ones beside you. The approval you require is your own. Stand and speak. Yes, you who looks of Lazuli.
Hello. Our home has changed, recently. While beforehand it was just one place, one fort, one city, we have begun to make our home throughout all the lands of Kara, through the marshes, through the caves, through the mountains even. On every continent, we have hoped to find the beauty in all of the lands of Kara, and not bind ourselves to just a building or a certain set of people, but a better understanding of all peoples of Kara. We make our home what we want it to be.
What you want it to be while you have control of it, yes.
I suppose so.
But what will it be when you are gone, You are not Lazuli.
It'll be what the next people decide it is. I do not hold my hands on it anymore. They can change it to how they fit best. Goodness. See fit. Yes. Apologies.
You have not wronged me. A stuttering tongue can still speak truth. Good. Another. Yes, you.
I believe that the place that I would call home is a place of tomes and knowledge. I have spent many months now wandering the lands of Kara to hear the stories of the myriad peoples who call this place home, and recording them, writing them down, such that if something were to happen to any individual or group, their stories, their culture, the essence of their being might be held in perpetuity. And this is the calling of mine, and a calling that I am very glad has been shared with other individuals who have joined to my cause. Which is what brings me here today, to hear more stories.
Perpetuity. Are you a fool?
I have been called many things, a fool before indeed.
You wish to hold things longer, do not use perpetuity incorrectly, mine.
Well, my apologies if my choice of diction has offended you.
It would take more to offend me than that. It's time for the cycle to continue. Those seated on rock and stone may take your seats.
The idea was nice, though, for a long time, even if I agree.
Come now. I will ask each of you a question. I will begin on my right. What do you crave?
I crave knowledge. Knowledge of how to heal things, heal people, heal the land. I want to help people. I crave it so badly.
I knew someone who craved something similar. My Eric Miko, what do you crave?
I crave acceptance, my family, happiness.
And you, what do you crave?
I crave to be a better version of myself every day.
What
learn.
does that entail? What is better than what you are?
Every day I make a mistake or something that I can learn from. I wish to learn from that and do better the next day. Try not to make any mistakes.
You crave perfection.
I suppose.
And you, what do you crave?
Growth. Sorry.
Why?
Because, like the world around us, everyone has their own cycle. Everyone has things. Perhaps destiny is a part of it, but they have things that they must do.
They have things that they must learn from. Good and bad, right or wrong.
Not growth like a plant, growth like a bug. You might be a good bug yourself. Next.
I crave the ability to be able to protect those I love.
Power. You crave power.
Yeah,
Okay.
I suppose so.
I moved my mic closer, so
Next.
y'all are not so far away.
I crave home.
What is home to you?
To myself, home is not a place. It is those that you are surrounded with.
Tell me more.
Back home in Halomaya, it did not feel like a home. And I hope here in Kara, I hope to develop and call home here.
I will hear the next.
I crave freedom.
From what?
My past.
Do you crave to forget it or to grow from it?
Grow from
Does it have shackles or does it have weights?
A bit of both, I do believe.
You truly are locked in a tower. Might you break free before others do? Next.
I can see a little better.
In the same way the bug before craves freedom? I will give you time to speak. Speak when you are ready. I see. Next.
I crave peace. Some quiet for myself and those I hold dear, and no matter where they are now, I hope all of them are at peace.
Do you crave peace for yourself or for those you have lost?
A mixture of both.
Selfish and selflessness. You have potential to be a good bug. Next.
I crave the past.
To change it or relive it.
I don't know yet.
Another locked in a tower. Next.
I crave to belong somewhere. I don't know when, but somewhere.
Are you lonesome, one of blood?
Beg your pardon?
Are you lonesome?
Some may say.
What does blood say?
It wants to be heard. Craves to be heard. But in time.
Patient. How long do you have, do you think? Already you are a product of a cycle broken. Do you think it will break again?
So long as there is blood flowing through me, I should hope not. I shall try not.
Next.
I crave balance and understanding.
What do you wish to understand?
I want to say everything, but that is impossible.
For a bug?
I suppose.
And last at the table, what do you crave? I could teach you that. Those who sit along this table. Now I must ask you a question of ambition. Will you give up your seat for those who sit on rock, or will you stay? Those empty seats may be filled.
As tempting as it would be, I believe I remember seeing a notice that he kind of likes dressed up and we in blue jeans.
Now, the same to those who have not answered, what do you crave?
So I don't think we would be permitted at the lovely
Someone
table.
speak. Good.
Oh, I guess I'll start. Most likely recognition. I believe that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I wish to be that beauty that almost everyone sees.
You crave attention.
Yes, I do.
That wasn't a compliment. Next.
Dun dun dun.
I crave an answer to a question.
Then ask it.
What do you want us to take away from this dinner?
To know that for many of the things you crave, I can provide the answer. And to know that dinners and gardens are fables told where I come from. Rarely, if ever, within my slice, have so many shared a table with me. And I am enjoying myself. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you, Lord.
You are welcome. Your horns, you are a satyr.
Yes.
Then you are already a good bug. Next.
I crave to continue to build everything I have been building every day, brick by brick, day by day. I'm crafting a legacy, and I want to be remembered when my time is done.
Do you recognize that one day everything will be forgotten?
That's the nature of change. I am one who collects stories for that specific reason.
You hold it off. Another.
I believe.
I-
Oh, carry on.
I crave for my kingdom to grow.
Who be this?
What kingdom
You
is
be
that?
loud.
Well, it hasn't been built yet, but it's the kingdom of the forest.
Kingdom of the forest. Are you of the
any
path green? Your seat is removed.
Oh.
Fill it.
Oh. Okay.
What do you crave, one who fills the seat?
Crave to know what you crave.
Glade, he wasn't talking to you.
What brings you to Kara if it hasn't already been?
Evenings like this.
That I can respect.
But I will hear of one covered in fur.
I crave to know more about my past. I unfortunately don't know what my upbringing is, or even what I am.
You're a bug. But I understand you seek the past not to relive it or change it, so that you might learn from it. One of the only reasons to look backwards.
Devil.
Next.
Oh. I'll let them speak.
I crave to not be alone and stuck in a tower. I crave to learn.
You have made promises to one who will keep you in a tower, locked in the efforts to free it. Moonlight is beautiful, but not through the slits of arrow holes. Next.
I don't think that this is a satisfactory answer, but I just crave something to crave. There is nothing that there are things that I want. There are things that would make me feel good, to complete, to accomplish, but there's nothing that I crave so much I'm willing to dedicate my whole to it.
Ambition without a goal.
Apologize. I crave strength. Not power. Not greed or anything along those lines, but strength. There's a difference.
And what do you wish to carry with your strength?
I wish to carry control.
For yourself or for others?
For myself. To help others.
Next.
I crave closure. I have lost people, and there are very few of those individuals who I have had the opportunity to receive closure with.
In what form of comfort does closure bring you, and in what form does closure come?
The comfort of closure is knowing that the story has an end. It may not be a happy ending, but there is an end, and thus another one can begin anew.
I like that answer. Next.
I crave to be enough for my kingdom.
What kingdom is that?
That of Stone Bay, my lord.
And what does being enough for Stone Bay mean? Do you not fit its standards?
I really don't quite know.
Next. You've been removed. Sit down somewhere else. Fill the seat. You.
Oh, goodness.
Speak.
I crave love because I fear its absence.
And what does that fear feel like?
It makes me feel empty, that fear, and alone. And it makes me feel like I have enemies everywhere. It makes me paranoid.
Is that common here in Kara? Paranoia?
Yes.
Is that why you acted so when I arrived?
Yes, my lord, that is why.
Have you learned?
I have, yes.
Good. Lazuli.
Yes, my lord.
Approach me. You are a good bug. Take your seat.
Thank you, my lord.
Are there any others whose cravings I have not heard? Here at this table.
I have a craving.
I will hear it.
It's something I acknowledge might be absolutely impossible. But I kind of crave a world where healing becomes obsolete.
Hmm?
Continue.
How I see it, if healing becomes obsolete, it's a world where people aren't getting sick from diseases, illnesses, or poisons. People not being slashed by a blade, but instead the only death are natural ones that people are prepared for.
I'm in this dream of yours and this craving. Does time still take its effect?
Of course.
Not immortality, but life without pain until its end. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Then you understand it. You do. You may sit. Now I'll ask the question again. Who amongst you will keep a seat, and who will give it to another?
It just bolts.
Come, those who have not had a moment to tell me your cravings, sit.
I fear I'm not dressed up. Well, you're in overalls.
Those who have not spoken, speak.
But look, I'm in jeans. And Converse.
Apologies.
You have not wronged me.
I believe I
Uh-oh.
crave security. The
From
idea-
yourself or others?
From myself, I believe.
I
For
don't want to be
myself.
AFK. I don't want to be AFK.
I want something unchanging in this world, I believe. Something I can hold on to. Even if it's not forever. Just for a small bit.
What are you willing to do to procure this security, this safety, this stability?
A lot, I would say. But I am one who wishes to be smart about it. I do not wish to threaten that idea by going into things blindly.
That is good. You may sit. Next. One who looks of Lazuli.
Hello.
What is your name?
I don't believe I can give it to you, unfortunately.
I did not ask to take it, I asked to know it.
Ah. My misunderstanding. Heresy.
Heresy, what do you crave?
A world of kindness and understanding.
How
One
odd for heresy to seek understanding. But please, continue.
I wish to be able to have a world where at the first sign of the unknown, people do not raise weapons against one another. People do not talk behind others' backs, but instead sit together and learn to understand and comprehend each other. without having to fight constantly because they fear something that they do not understand.
That's fitting. But achievable. You may sit.
Thank you.
Next.
Howdy. First off there, Mr. Lord of Rot, I'm not sure if anyone
The
knows this is a
Underking
dinner and
has
everything.
returned.
I'm not sure if anyone's even offered you some tea.
Oh.
First, let me just get that courtesy out of the way. Would you like some tea?
I will take it as tribute. Do you wish to give me tribute, Underking?
Oh. Exactly what you consider tribute meaning? Tribute all the time.
You may ponder it, my friend, but what do you crave?
Oh, well, that's very simple. I crave the next chapter. That's about it. I was told my story isn't over, but I'm not sure the next chapter is yet.
I can appreciate that. Talk of stories and chapters, here I am, quill in hand, writing my own. Next. 3. But I have been given one by book, and I shall read it.
Ah.
The one to my right craves knowledge of their past, unafraid of what it entails. They will take their past as their own and know who they once were. They crave the past to learn from it. The only good reason to look behind. Who shall go next? Stand and fight.
Fight, you say?
You seems you have won, Alexander.
Seems so. I crave the power to protect the ones I love from an early death.
What are you willing to do for this power?
Anything that does not disrupt the natural order.
You're a good bug. Next. One of metal.
Hello. I would like to know if the purpose I've chosen for myself is the correct one. I am a sentient construct. I am usually given a purpose, but recently I got to choose a purpose for myself. I sometimes worry that it may not be the right one.
What is your purpose?
I am currently just helping the people I care about. I thought I had to look for a greater purpose at first, but I think something smaller, something that means something to a closer group of people, is more positive.
And how do you determine what you care about, Metal?
That is a good question. If I when something negative happens, if I have a response to it of some emotion, I must care about it in some way.
Next.
I crave love and peace, but not for myself. I crave it for others around me, those who I do not know, and people who have been through trying times.
Next.
Well, I believe it is that I crave for the ability to continue what I am already doing. Part of me wishes to crave sight or knowledge or something like that, but I don't wish to disrupt that which is natural. I merely wish to keep on going and get things at the normal pace.
You crave control.
I suppose.
One at the end of the table, you have been patient. What made others rightfully speak before you? Why did you hold your tongue?
Because I believe everyone has their own opinions and their own things, and it doesn't matter if I speak now or speak later.
Because you hold your opinion at the slightest compared to others. What do you crave?
No, it's not who I thought it was.
I crave to be able to look myself in the reflection and watching myself smile back instead of the parts of the people, how people always compare me to others, smile back at me and just look at myself and see myself.
You crave self-worth. No one can give that to you but yourself. No god or titan, and certainly not me. Though they could use it to manipulate you. I certainly could. Next.
Is there a next? Did we go through everybody?
I crave to simply exist. I would rather a peaceful existence, as is per my people, but even if there are hardships and a frightful existence that comes my way, I wish to take it with open arms. I wish for the spirit tree that I'm linked to become aged and old, knotted, slashed, and for the sagging branches to weep with sorrow as time flies by, in hopes that one day they will break off and start a new cycle where their mother tree has fallen, and continue the path that I plan to set out on of simply existing.
You are a good bug.
Thank you.
Next.
I crave a sense of belonging. I would like to find somewhere where I belong and I'm able to live the rest of my life.
What do you want to belong?
I want to belong to a community. I want to meet people. I want to make new friends, make a lover. I just want to be around people.
You crave community.
Yes, I suppose.
That could be used to manipulate you as well. Keep your eyes forward and ears low to the ground.
I will, thank you.
Has anyone else seated within this table not told me what they crave? Then you must make the decision. Shall you give your seat up or remain? Fill them.
Sure, why not?
What do you crave?
Well, I crave entertainment. Having a good old fun time.
Very well. Next.
I too also would like to. I crave my past, not to run from it, not to hide from it, to understand it, to embrace it. It's a bit foggy, but I wish to run back there and perchance whatever happened then, save it from not happening again in the future.
A past to learn. Very well. Next.
That
Sorry.
was a little
I crave
nerve-wracking.
to enjoy the joys and sorrows of life until the day I may part from this earth.
A recognition that life is beautiful, death absolute, and that there might be beauty after. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Good. Is there anyone else whose cravings I have not heard? Speak.
Hard word, but
Huh.
crave to learn, understand what I've learned, and eventually grow from it.
So many people here craving knowledge. A crystal clear understanding of their past so that they might not repeat it, but that they might learn from it. Some forthright with their ambitions, some quiet, some hide their urge for strength behind urges to protect.
It's just the server that I'm in.
Let me be perfectly clear.
Gotta make sure I'm muted in the
Protect
Discord. Every
something
time
is
I
to defeat
speak,
something else, and to
it
defeat something
scares
else is
me.
to require strength. And to require strength is to require power. I open to all those who listen. Are there any final questions for me? One who craves attention.
Yes, my lord. I wish to know, how far do you want to grow your garden? Is it stopping at this island? Is it, taking over our lawn? Or Kara as a whole? How far would you like to see your garden flourish?
Already the one who craves attention asks questions that bring eyes onto them. I will tell you this. This island is more than my slice of the Shadow Mirror, tenfold. I am not so hungry that I am foolish. Questions?
Oh, there seems to be many
I-
questions.
Yes.
I am curious. Are there any stories that you enjoy telling at places like these? Of yourself, perhaps?
I have not had something like this amongst those who would listen without efforts to bring about political edge in quite some time. But allow me time to ponder.
Okay.
I am old, but not to the point of the beginning. And I do not have foresight to know if I will make it to the end. But I will tell you a story of a lady who cried.
Don't, Ash. No.
I was young if I ever was young. Weak if I ever was weak. And foolish if I ever was foolish. Similar, the riffraff of autumn who caused trouble on an island near here. Hungry. And every day I would walk from my puddle through court, walk through the slices of the altar wold. Bits and pieces of it.
Don't you do it, Ashton.
And there was a lady who cried.
Don't you do it.
Constantly. And around her there was a puddle. Her tears. Never enough heat for them to dissipate fully. And I grew older if I am old, and wiser if I am wise, and stronger if I am stronger. And her puddle became a lake. On a cliffside. I see it now clear as day. And soon the waters of her tears began to fall over the cliff like teardrops of itself, a continuation of her sadness. Over the cliffside. The lady of the lake which weeps. I don't know if she's still there. I hope she's stopped crying. And her lake all the same. But yes, that is a story. One that ends like truthful stories do, without the storyteller knowing how it truly ended. Are there any other questions for me?
May someone without a seat ask questions?
If they have the gut to do so.
And I do. You asked all of us what we crave, but I do not know if you were asked what you crave. So what do you crave?
I was asked several times over. It is good to know that some pay attention in tidbits and tadbits.
Apologies, I was
You are fine.
dealing with other matters.
I crave escape. Peace. But that does not mean quiet. And it does not mean lonesomeness. I crave to bring about what I can bring about and empower those I can empower who earn it. I crave a slice. And I have that.
If you have it, then how do you still crave it?
Because when you've stopped craving something you have, you don't want it anymore.
Alright then.
Others are standing in the crowd, you have questions.
Hello, friend.
Hmm.
I was curious. Is your residence here in Kara? Do you plan it to be permanent, or will you eventually return to the Shadow Me? I presume. Yes.
I will have to for some moments and times, but no, I believe I am here to stay.
Understood.
This is my home. Alexander.
You called some of us good bugs, and others you dismissed. What is a good bug to you, and what is a bad bug to you?
A good bug is a bug that must not be a bug forever.
Understood.
There are some here who don't have to be bugs forever. And others who will remain bugs until their end. My H. Nikolov, what question do you have?
What do you become when you are no longer a bug?
The ones who take care of those freshly squashed.
Like you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Anything else from those who sit on stone and rock? Good bug. You must speak up, my friend.
My apologies. My tongue was a little twisted. You mentioned tribute earlier when Kind Under King wanted to bring you tea. How would you like for us to tribute to you, to rot to that which is the end but brings anew?
Mud and sapling. Flesh and dirt. Flowers to feed off them.
Understood. Thank you, my lord.
But there is a final thing.
Yes.
Your animals, your friends. This curse keeps them alive for so much longer than it should. But when their time comes, if you wish to truly pay tribute, you will allow their time to end here. And they will become beautiful. Like my garden.
I will do my best to uphold that genuine tribute.
That does not mean to cut life short. That means at the end, let them end here. Any other questions? You. Only those who disrespect me and my good bugs may not enter. You may visit as you'd like. There are no more questions. Then may only good bugs sit at my table. Seems the kind king would speak.
Oh yeah, thank you again. Some of us who might not be as aware, what exactly, in your own words, I guess you could say, has allowed you to be here?
The work of an old friend now gone.
I am just leaving.
And the work of the bugs who helped them. Now good bugs may sit, others must leave. But you might listen. As was stated earlier, this is my home and my domain. I have learned in my many years that good bugs should be rewarded. If you have ambitions, bring them to me. I will help you where I can. And we will see if you must be a bug forever. You are free, all of you, to live the life you desire. As in my eyes, there are bugs, and none sit higher than the other. I was asked, do I respect law? And I replied that I respect respect. And is that not the basis of all mortal tenets? So go, or stay. Our dinner is over.
And it's time for the mass exodus. Alright, we are officially out of the event VC. I can speak freely, even though I grumbled that whole time. So that is normally how one of these VCs, well not VCs, these events happen. I think we're going the wrong way, but I'm gonna follow the path. And yet there's people that are going from the path. We're gonna start lagging here, y'all. May like a ride? Or not. And home is this way. So he is called the Lord of Rot. He is part of the Fae. He has said he is part of the Autumn Court. Oh, good heavens. Specifically his lore, I do not know. A lot of stuff on here I am still relatively new to. I don't know what is happening, the significance of certain people, but hey, it is what it is. And there's a bunny. Parliament building. Which, I kind of want to go this way to get to Parliament. Did I save Court? I did not. I didn't even think to put Stone Bay's coordinates in there because I'm in there all the time. We got 30 minutes until the next one, which is, I'm assuming, going to be similar than the other Parliament meetings that we've had. But, stop it. This is the Valence SMP. I don't know. I was hoping to prepare more for this, and obviously I have not. My apologies. But the Valence SMP is a roleplay Minecraft server, as you've seen. Oh, good heavens. I don't think we needed a boat for this. Or maybe we do? So we're all moving. Therefore, the land is not loading. We should be relatively close to Stone Bay. There is stuff here. Okay, cool. I have hope. Still don't recognize anything. Or water. I can't tell how far it goes. Ah! This looks man-made. There is a wall. Corner of the wall. And the wall just disappears. Put that back where I found it. Because somebody made it. Now entering City of Stone Bay. We're here, but where is here? I can't see. Okay, found a buoy. I'm either gonna run into a ship or a wall. Oh, wait. I think we went a little too far right. There's chicken. And I'm not seeing a way up. Hey, look. A way up. And we are... Well, just look at that. I think we're behind Parliament. I think we're right where we need to be. Oh my gosh. We are! I think I'm gonna sit right here. Right there for Parliament. We are extremely early, though. Extremely early. But people are most likely on their way because we just came from the Lord of Rot. Okay, maybe I can have a moment here. Let me fix some things on left side here. Ah, we're in the wrong hall. That's a tad bit tired. So, yeah. Valence SMP. I don't know how much to go into. Considering I don't know much myself either. And all the fun things. It's hard to explain. I'm kind of out of my comfort zone being part of this server, so I'm being sociable yet not. It's really hard. But it is a roleplay SMP. Anything I do in this game is considered my character, not myself. So if I want to portray as something, I need to live by it in the game here. So far, I think I portrayed myself accidentally as being the clumsy... I don't know exactly how to say it. So, I've jumped off roofs, I've jumped off trees, I've walked into areas that you shouldn't, it's, you know, no trespassing. All that fun stuff. Ooh, I peeked at the red. You know what, guys? Let me get some mood sounding. How about that? How about that? Anywho. Lost my train of thought? Yeah, I didn't. Story of my life. So think of this server as a 24/7, non-stop D&D, Dungeons and Dragons session. You can be who you want to be, what you want to be, all that. Currently, I am just a normal girl who lost her family, doesn't remember what happened that day. What she does remember scares her. She remembers fighting. She hates war and such. She hates fights. She hates battles. She hates wars. But they trigger memories of seeing her family's faces. And so she goes to everything, regardless if it's a battle, knowing the danger, whatnot, just, you know, to see their faces. To remember. Maybe she'll remember something else that will trigger her as to who her parents are, where her family is, where does she come from, who is she, what is she. She's traveled all over the place looking for stories and information because what she thought was her kingdom no longer exists. Essentially what I'm going for. What I'd like to happen is to somehow get into the dragon kind of feel, or at least that's just my personality. I like dragons. For now, that's just it. One of the other main characters, his name is the Lord of Flickering Lights. He's a bit of a seer, seance, and we went to one of those lovely seminars, events, or whatnot, and was able to ask the question. Albeit at that time when I asked the question, I only mentioned my parents rather than my family. And the response I got back was, my parents are dead. So, we have solidified that my birth parents are no longer here. Should have followed with, what about my brothers? I would like to have, you know, maybe 4 brothers, 4 or 5 brothers. You know, we're a big clan of us. I being the only child. Oh, not the only child, the only girl. But we'll see on that. Ending with our session with Lord of Flickering Lights. He said that the crystal ball showed him a door opening, and on the other side of that door I find a family. Now, whatever the door is, could be an event, something happening on its own. I make it. But in the end, I should end up with a family. So that is our goal here in this long run, is just doing things and possibly triggering, getting a group, all that fun stuff. Maybe finding a family. Maybe my brothers are alive. Maybe I can have friends on here to be my brothers. But kind of the storyline or whatnot. I don't know if it's just every girl's fantasy to be a princess or whatnot, but was kind of aiming towards the royal family kind of shtick. We were a kingdom that was overtaken, and I was placed under a curse, and this happened when I was a child, and when I woke up I was a grown adult because the curse, more like a spell or a blessing, protected myself. And where I woke up in this field was actually once the kingdom and buildings, and it's been so long that the buildings decayed and all that type of stuff. I don't know. I don't know how to roleplay. I don't. I'm just here for the chaos. By chance, are they in... Well, I see... Ah, they are. Okay. Gonna join a roleplay. I am muted so they can't hear me, so that's fine. At the same time, they act like they're talking to it. They're probably in the same room or whatnot. After all this is said and done, I will show you guys kind of what's been going on. Things have changed on our end.
Dun, 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 dun. I hope there is a better turnout. Not that I don't quite enjoy you four.
There's still time.
There is still very much time. Isn't that the classic worry, though? Oneself to worry about if people will actually show up. It's as I say, on many occasions, I can talk, I can speak, but I can't make you listen.
Very true. Wise words.
Thank you. It is up to the individuals themselves to decide if their values are at the point where they can learn, they can choose how to listen. If you attempt to force someone to listen, well, that's where your negative falls into place, is it not? You gain more pushback.
Things always end well.
I need to get a hotkey for my keyboard or my mouse or something to mute and unmute myself in Discord. So right now I have to keep switching over. Symposium's in 20 minutes. We've been. We got here in pretty good time. There's horses, but mind you, they're on Felina. I can't bring them over here. Also, time for the warning, which I should have had at the beginning. This is an adult server. If you have not noticed by now, there have been words and mentionings in chat and whatnot. This is your warning. I am recording this, and if I ever make this into a video, I can easily, you know, gray everything out on the side there.
Evening, son of Baron. Baron who cannot hear me yet.
Good evening.
How do you do? Please take a seat anywhere you wish. Evening, Baron.
Evening, Niles.
How do you do today, Baron Malahide?
I'm alive. I'm with my family. Can't really ask for much else.
You can ask for as much as you wish to ask for, and the question is, are you willing to ask it? That's the difference.
Not today.
Not today. That in itself is you determining your values. Very ethical. Great start. Will the Baroness be joining us today?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Quite fair, quite fair. Don't worry, if you do somehow manage to get a message out to them, I won't be bringing up June bugs too much today, or hopefully at all.
Oh no!
So if you were to pop a June bug in your mouth and pop it like a grape, would that be ethical?
I don't want to do this again, Niles. We did this last time for way too long, and you know it.
Oh, I just fancy a joke, just a bit of a tizzy. I apologize, man. I wish not to mess with you in such an odd way.
You're all good.
You have the eyes of someone who gets it.
I got a fidget toy in my hand if you hear all the clicking. I forgot I had this. It's one of those cubes, so there's like a joystick on one end, which is that. There's a ball with some spinny cogs, like a light switch. There's like, best way I can describe it is a turntable. And all the clickies. I'm so professional, guys. So professional. Don't quite know what to do. At this point, I mean, we're just kind of sitting here. But, life is going to be busy. I should probably start off with, it's gonna get busier. Some things are happening on the work side.
How about you, Mr. Morgan? How has your day been?
I should probably turn down Baja. Actually, you know what I should do?
Yes, quite. I agree.
Is this. I'm gonna deafen. So a while back we discussed of me needing to work 10 to 12 hour days. That is still not changing. Albeit I have been performing 10 hours, trying to get in 12. Starting in maybe 2 to 3 weeks, it's going to be like 12 hours regardless. My department currently has 2 people in it. From my understanding. I don't want to give much away because everything stays on the internet. Even though I don't tell people that I do this, certain people know that I do this. Don't know my name, but hey. But there's going to be some restructuring within my department, and I will be getting a lot more work to do. And all that fun stuff. Is that Bill? It is the Underking!
It's a crow.
Good evening.
How do you both do today? How do you fare?
Oh, I'm doing good. Just came for a tea time. I'm about to go into some very quick deep meditation, and then gonna listen about some ethics.
Listen to some ethics. That is all that I can appreciate, I believe. Ooh, quite a good 10 up already. Favorite gastropod. I'll have to let that know when he can hear.
So yeah.
How do you do, Lady Pebble?
Meowdy, I do well.
How do you do, my favorite gastropod?
Is that my favorite ethical hatted man?
Oh my god,
Yes.
Hatted man. That's a new one.
Very interesting, and your passion for ethics is noted. Thus, I dub you Ethics Hatted Man.
Ethics Hatted man.
Hatted
yes.
Ethics Man. That's more okay. You know what? Ignore me. I'm not so.
Ethics man.
This horchata was like spiked with some vodka. Let's just say that, all right?
Oh, I see. My favorite gastropod. Yes. Well, I hope that we get to the point where it never becomes, how do you do, where I just become the Hatted Man, or worse, the Hat Man.
No,
Where I
you
lose
will not
those
become
ethics.
the Hat Man. You are still Niles Gredlin. You are still you.
It's for me to determine, but yes.
Oh, I was gonna say you had something about it's your self value, your worth.
Yes,
For you to decide. I've been paying attention. I've been taking.
Yes.
Yes,
Quite well.
yes.
Quite well.
I enjoy these.
I quite enjoy these as well. I've been told there are a few people who wish to be here that aren't here yet. I hope that they just simply will be late.
You can always walk in and have that awkward moment of not knowing where to go and then just finding out on their own.
That is the classic, is it not?
It's word for word, just like every time I see them, it's like they look around, they are like, oh, where do I go? Where do I? And then they find the seats and the stairs, and they're like,
Yes,
oh,
it's,
okay.
it's always an immediate walk up, a look
Mhm.
around, confusion because they didn't see this right here.
Right.
And then considering, start to walk forward, back up, and then oh, there it is, and go
Mhm.
up. It's quite wonderful. No one has ever braved taking the stage with me though yet, my favorite gastropod. No one's ever gotten to that point where they're just like, ah yes, this must be the stairs.
Let's see how. I'm curious to see if that'll happen because I know we've had a flush of many new people before. I think or actually, what was the last one that we had? Was it not?
The
It was before the boom of Karens, yes.
It did indeed, and it wasn't even a symposium. It was the last one I did was a
MIF.
Yes, an
Oh
MIF.
yes. Yeah.
Which is a determination over certain ethical events, compared to this, which is going over instead express topics, and debating the express topics. I have also thought of opening a evening, Mr. Nikolov.
Evening.
Is that our favorite guy in pink? Hey, get over here! Don't be a stranger. Come over here. Come over here. Hey.
I've also yes, Miss Lenora. I've also thought about introducing a an Ask Me Anything with my grandson. I figure that one might be a fun one.
These are the questions that need to be asked. People have look after what I just walked away from after the tea party that I just walked away from. Folks yearn for the questions. They yearn for answers. There's like the one thing that people said about they yearn for what was the word strive or crave?
Yes.
Just knowledge. It was knowledge. That was the common denominator.
Yes, and those who crave knowledge, the best place to get it is surrounded by those who wish the same.
Exactly. People will give you that knowledge too.
I of course had no chance to speak. It seems I must have upset the Lord of Rot.
He did seem a little disappointed, but I kind of had to I held firm and kind of decided to go for 2 rounds of questioning because then I did ask him what he craved. Guy just seemed like he just wanted a moment to just chill, which like honestly I respect. He seemed to enjoy just a tea party with so many people.
In the same way that he sticks to his ground, I stick to mine. I know what my question was.
Well, I can respect that.
What did you ask? I've forgotten already.
I asked him his opinions on his ethics, his form of ethics.
I asked him something similar, to be honest. He follows his own, does not... Obviously, he follows his own, but he does not let anybody else influence.
I listened to every word.
To quote a bard that I listened to, Lamar of Kendrick, he lives by his own.
I think I've heard the bard Lamar of Kendrick.
Oh yes. One of a favorite of mine.
Actually, one of my favorite bards is this. He's this water druid. His name is Quelmo of the Rivers. And he tells me, he talks about great stories. He has this one story where he talks about the time that he rested on an island in the sun. But his best stories when he was talking about this specific form of fear, and he realized that somebody's hiney was crowding his ice ball. It's a great story. He does it much better than I.
I should very much listen to this bard. There's been many that I've kind of been gathering over the various months.
Yes, and you have to make sure that you are following a bard that follows the community quite well. Unlike the bard known as Taylor Swift, who casts so many spells with this great emissions within the sky.
Look, they put the Swift in their name. So Swift, in fact, you can't even hear what they're saying.
Yes, of course.
But I respect all bards. Look, slow or fast, swift or quick or slow or however you look. I'm here for it. gonna find myself a bit of a hydration break or something.
Yes,
We'll
find your
require a
find your
bucket.
way to being hydrated. We are only 5 minutes away.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Evening, Your
So,
Highness.
from my understanding,
Evening, Dame Umber.
I don't
this
know if
sir
she has
is
her
like
ears on, but I'll say hello for her.
Ah, yes. Quite nice. And how are you doing today, Queen?
Quite well. How are you, Mr. Grantham?
I'm doing as best as I can be, as much as I wish to determine.
Whatever the fuck that means.
I'm doing well, Little Queen.
Okay. Listen, I'm perpetually high. Listen.
What a place to be at.
Shit, word.
Right?
Wait, Lunar Queen, can I suggest I just rolled this and I'm just getting some ideas from it. This is a new strain that I just got from this Ozone. Call it, you like the name?
Oh yeah, I like it.
I've extracted the high out of my name, the High Lord.
That's really good. You need to like make that like your bestseller.
Oh, I'm gonna try. I've condensed.
Is it smooth, High Lord?
Oh well, it's okay. So I'll explain it as best I can, but I have condensed the sensations and the feelings, and the experience of being a High Lord into a string, and you feel all of the emotions all at once for not too long, but then after that, very mellow, very mellow. Would you like some? I don't know. I mean, if you feeling like the High Lord, it is yours to tote.
It's worth
Give that a good 2.
I am not against the partaking.
Yes, Niles, that thing you gave me the other day was brutal.
Yes, it is.
Think you offered me to smoke.
I do apologize. That one it is a rough one because it's built for me. That one is quite smooth, though I don't think I'll get anywhere with it.
Blade, you should try the one that he gave me. It's it'll make you high.
Is it? So I gotta ask, because my standards are kind of a little high, pun intended, kind of, because you know Cynthia. We all know the great roller
It was
Cynthia.
a gift from the circle.
What? Was it Cynthia's?
It was one made for me called the Ethical Dilemma.
Mm-hmm. But it was rolled by Cynthia.
And it was rolled by the Circle Beak, and it is quite a hit, I will tell you that. It hits me for like at least 6 hours, and my body like naturally dissolves most toxins.
Right. No, it sticks to your system, and I'll tell you why. I mean, this is my guess, and I'm not speaking ill. When you're a candle maker, you know how things burn. You know exactly just how to make a true and well lit candle. So thus, you must know the dynamics of how to roll and light a well lit joint, and that is why I shall and always will stand by a Cynthia rolled blunt. That stuff will fuck you up.
Yes, of course.
It's just my true and honest opinion. Also, go shop wikis. This is my shameless plug for wikis, because we love them. So
Hey, I think there's a little bit more of a comfy place for our ears.
But yes, indeed, it is. She definitely knows how to burn properly.
Oh yeah.
To get everything going. So, evening, Prime Minister. I'm glad
Hello.
Prime Minister.
That you wish to announce the Sir Cradar. Evening. And the Miss Altair. Evening, Miss Altair, when her ears make it in. There they are. Evening, Miss Altair. I'm doing quite well, quite well. Please take a seat anywhere. Excellent. And with that, I don't see anybody immediately rushing in. Of course, they are still welcome if they do. But we shall begin, and I shall go right into the proper explanations of how this goes for those who have not attended an ethical symposium, and those who have never been to this sort of event. One, an ethical symposium is an area for not only for me to discuss my ideas on topics, but for me to also give you the chance to discuss on topics. So if there is ever a moment where you wish to speak on a topic, all I ask is that you please stand, wait, and I will continuously turn around to make sure that I find you and call on you in that instance. Two, this wonderful version of our ethical symposiums is indeed sponsored by the Way of Scholars, and it should be quite a wonderful event. I've prepared quite a list of topics today, topics that I think will serve all of us quite well, and some that I believe that we should automatically get right into. And so with that, I pose the first question, first topic, one that our Prime Minister has been very excited about for quite a while. What is normal? What is the description of one being normal? Now, being normal in its entirety is, at its base, at its core, when we begin, is one that is dictated by society. Society is what brings people together. When it comes into describing a word, what is normal and what is weird, what is the difference from abnormal, and the difference between the cohesion of man and the cohesion of environment. Society, people, when they begin, are inherently abnormal. At least this is what I believe underneath my acts, right? Society is inherently abnormal and only becomes normality when everyone starts to come together. When everyone becomes together, when everyone brings in questions, I'll get right to you in just a second. When everybody comes together, form this sort of sense of normality, that is when it becomes truly normal. What do you have to say, my friend, Mr. Nikolov?
But obviously, societies intermingle, and then
Right.
what is normal in one is not normal in the other.
Correct. Yes, no, that is quite correct. So, as my friend Mr. Nikolov has said, when societies coalesce together, there comes into the idea that one is no longer normal. These societies have different forms of culture, different forms of ideas. The ideals are completely different together. Do you know why Kara is such an interesting place? Because all of these cultures that have been rejected from various places, from all over the land, all these cultures, all these ideas, are now brought back into this land and have developed themselves into this new sense of normal. As Kara, despite being both old, is still also very new into the sense of society, into the forming of groups and social situations. And I've been told many a time that the difference between these groups, these inherent suggestions, are simply based on who can bring what into society, who can bring that new normal, right? My friend here, the Prime Minister, is someone who has been born in Kara, in comparison to people who have come from outside of Kara. And so their normal is a completely different scale, a completely different scale than what we come from today. And so because it is a completely different scale, there are things that we know that they do not. But the same is here is one. And I do apologize to put you on the table here, Prime Minister. But the Prime Minister has never experienced a childhood, which is a difference into the lands of Kara, right? Because there are no children, and death is completely different. The style of death is different in Kara, inherently from the curse. So a lot of the ideals that would have been formed over time, over a much younger period, are immediately brought into the Prime Minister at this, compared to other people who have had to learn in different ways. But Kara is a land of inherent shock, is it not? It is a land so different than anyone else. Yes, Prime Minister, please.
Well, given that, you know, it's named, I figure I should add my 2 cents into the conversation.
Of
The concept of normal is indeed an interesting one to discuss. As you yourself said, I myself has been born in Kara, therefore I suppose my normal is simply the day-to-day life that we experience together. It is normal, I would say, to perhaps slip off a cliff and wake up in your bed a moment later after dying. It is normal to need to eat quite often, to and be able to have access to much food. I've heard that outside of Kara, food is much more difficult to grab. There are many things, many various aspects of Karan culture that I'm certain I myself am not even aware of that it is a Karan thing, as I have not I have no experience outside of the lands of Kara. And to that end, you brought up that I myself have not had a childhood. It is true. I did not have a childhood. I was born essentially fully grown. And I was bored with quite an idea of how I suppose the world works in a very basic and in a very basic sense. And as such, I have grown my ideals, my personality, everything that you see here has been shaped, has been formed, has been created by Kara.
Yes, it's absolutely correct. Also, evening, Your Majesty. Glad for me to see you. Oh, and evening to the 2 guards of the river pebble coming in.
Good evening. My lord has sent me to treat with you. He did not tell me how to treat you.
Treats?
Yes. Now, to continue the conversation brought in by the Prime Minister, yes, you are absolutely correct that Kara brings in this entire ideal of an entire new normal, one that one is not able to expect as often or as possible. Yes, my friend, Mr. Nikolov, please go on.
Can I don't mean to be an asshole by saying this, but does it... this is a genuine question. Why does it matter what's normal? Why does...
That is the question I've been waiting to hear. Why does it matter to be normal? Why does it matter that there are these groups of people coming together to form their normal? To form what is based within our society? It is important because people, mortals, are inherently judgmental. Even if
yes.
Yes, indeed. Even if we are of a positively judgmental or a negatively judgmental, we immediately put things into a box inherently. We see these words that are brought up between people. If someone ties their shoes a different way, we notice. If someone dresses in a specific color, we notice. If someone goes around and claims different or talks different or just is inherently different, people notice that and they put it into a form of ranking. And that is what is the beginning of determining what is abnormal. Thus, when there is enough abnormal and it starts to flitter off into different directions by Mr. Nikolov, that is when it all comes back together. It forms in the new concept of what is a new society's normal. Yes, if you have a question, please stand. Or are you just...
Sir Crate, yeah, I was letting you know.
Oh, yes, sorry, Sir Kratos, I did not quite see that. Go ahead.
Quite alright. If I may make a comment on why it would matter if someone is normal or not, or if something is normal or not. I believe it goes back for much more animalistic primal instinct, if I may be honest. I look at it like this: if you are out in the woods and you see a wolf, and this wolf is not bothering you, yeah, that is a normal wolf. You see dozens upon hundreds of those wolves, no matter what. But the moment you notice a wolf limping around, acting strangely, foaming at the mouth, something is wrong. Because that is not like all the other wolves you have seen. And in your mind, you initially know, something is bad, something is wrong, because this is not what I'm used to. And
Yes.
understanding that can lead to saving your own life. So, in some sense, normality aids in a survival instinct to identify potential threats in others. Yeah. But society and the lands of Kara are much more complex than just that.
Yes, no, I absolutely agree that probably at its base, it was the idea of creating this normal was based in survival, from a natural instinct. Yes. My friend over there, I saw you raising a hand out of the corner of my eye.
Oh, not a hand, a very weathered limb.
I apologize then. Yes, my friend with the leathered limb.
Oh, we're describing what is normal and our hostilities towards it. I find one of the most pertinent examples we can use is the cow.
Yes, of course, the cow.
You see, my friend and I, fellow guardsmen, we've attempted to kill each other several times, failed miserably, and so we have negotiated a truce for this fine faring. And so, we think one of the most perfect examples of the punishment of non-normal things is the cow. How many people in this room, how many fine mortals, have simply slaughtered a cow for being there? Hmm? Hmm? Hmm?
Yes, please take your stand if you indeed believe that you have slaughtered a cow just for being there. Yes, many of you. Please continue.
Yes, and this leads me into, of course, the crimes of being small. How many of you have slaughtered a chicken because it would only take one swipe of your sword? Hmm? Hmm?
We may continue with this. We may continue to stand and...
Yes, you'll see that our punishments of normalcy extend past those simple minds of mortals and the sentience of them being different than mortals and the sentience of them. Our punishment of normalcy, it extends to everything, especially small things.
You are absolutely correct.
Yes, well, my lord has sent me to treat with you. He has not stated how I should treat you, but I will treat you indeed.
Oh, we love treats.
Oh?
No, I absolutely... Oh, yes, my favorite gastropod.
Oh, I apologize if I interrupted. My only question, or my assumption, not assumption, one thing I wish to touch upon is the perspective of normalcy is sort of touched upon, but it is also, I want to note the willingness of the people, the society that normalcy, whatever it may be, is being brought into, the willingness for the people to accept it, to be normal, because I've witnessed in my own time things that were perhaps normal, and that normalcy was challenged and now is been considered normal, or is it? I just wonder, what do you believe? Is it the people's willingness that also dictates and defines normalcy as well?
Yes, I absolutely do agree that people's willingness is what dictates the normalcy within a society, right? Everybody has natural limits of what they are born with, my friend. Everyone has a decision of what they can handle. And from what I've noticed within the lands of Kara, most people can handle things completely different, at a much more higher scale. My friends, were you bouncing to talk?
Oh, it's simply trying to bounce in unison.
Oh, yes. Completely understand. Going back into it, into my friend's question. Yes, I do absolutely believe that people inherently have these sort of forms, these bases of feeling, if you know what I mean. The idea that when someone is brought into the lands of Kara, if I look at them, there are certain things that someone could handle them saying, and certain things that others have decided that they couldn't handle, right? For example, people are able to inherently handle you, my friend. However, some are not able to handle necromancy, right? Some people can't bring that
Oh!
society.
If I could spit, I would.
Perfectly understandable. There are decisions made onto the concept of society. There are decisions made in normality in its entirety, right? That when all these individuals finally then coalesce, when they can agree, when they can come together and become this form of, as we've stated, normal, that's when people start to get inherently excluded. And from what I've noticed within the lands of Kara, a majority of people in Kara are those who were excluded elsewhere and now are brought here into a new form of inclusion and have decided different forms of exclusion, right? There are so many people with the ability to cast magic here. There are so many people who can go after what they can do, right? They crave different things. They choose different manners of how to incorporate, how to deal with, how to move here, right? The enemies of Kara are those who impeded on the normal that was here, those who tried to choose their values for them. Because as I believe that being normal is simply sticking to what your values are, not allowing someone else to stick to your values for you. That is normal. Yes, my friend.
Oh, that's me with the webbed limbs. Thank you. Ah, so you'll find that the enemies of these lands are those who try to tell you what to do.
That is just what I have noticed from the record.
Ah, very well. Someone tried to tell me what to do. My friend can speak on it. I ate him.
Oh, yes, and then you did it.
Yes, regurgitated him.
Oh, yes, and then I did something like this. And then it was all fine.
Yes.
Ah, I see. But yes, to sort of answer your question, to go off of the record a little closely, the people who determined the values in such an extreme level, for example, the one that we inherently know very close in relation, let's go with the Archon, who's attempting to choose other people's values within the clan. Their values on magic, people differed in opinion. They believed that it wasn't a part of the normal, and believed that they should be able to make those choices. And so those choices were chosen. The one that was known as Motor Yord, he had a different description, inherently placing onto the values, her values were that of the destruction of others. Yes, my friend H, Mr. Nikolov,
What?
will move on.
I feel like I'm speaking too much, but where does that stop? Like, would you... do laws not fall under that? Because
Where does that...
like that's the way you're describing it.
You're absolutely correct. But most laws are completely dictated, completely created off of the group of normal, right? The rules that are, thrust about and defeated at the table right across there during parliamentary sessions, those are bills that have decided cannot fit within the norm, cannot create a new part of the normal that we experience within our society. Laws inherently are, I've been saying inherent way too much, laws are at its core, at its base, the people that bring it all together, if you know what I mean. I will get to you in just 1 second, my friend, but I noticed them stand for Prime Minister, please.
Yes, I believe that when it comes to a discussion of normal, when it comes to a discussion of normalcy, ultimately we must understand that we live in a society. We live within a, I suppose, a social ecosystem of interactions, of passerby on the streets. Each day we interact, we see people, we are inherently within a web of individuals all interacting together. What this comes with, however, is that given that we all are within that ecosystem, what one of us does, the others, it will affect others. And so it is, I believe, it is I would say, a moral responsibility in order to understand that while you live within a society, a group, a culture, you have a certain social responsibility to yourself, to your peers, to your friends, and to those others who you see and spend time on a daily basis, that there is a level of courtesy there. For example, you brought up very many laws. The laws are there in order to have an established base of normality in which we can all agree and that we can all sit down and say these are the guidelines by which our society operates, and the laws are there to promote normalcy, because if we do not all come to an agreement upon what normal is, which is within the system of law, then how can we ever hope to come to an agreement of anything else? How can we hope to come to a happy medium? How can we hope to go about our day-to-day lives with peace and cohesion?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Prime Minister. That is truly a wonderful insight, and that definitely is an understanding of it. My webbed friends, I saw indeed that you raised your
yes.
webbed.
We've been debating several things. My friend here has very serious conversations regarding fruits and vegetables. I'm quite interested in law. See, law is a social construct which is the result of various external social influences like culture, history, politics, economy, and power. It describes a society that exists in, as it is ideologies and values of a society that are embodied as rules and principles of law. Law constructs a framework for a society according to its goals, interests, and understandings of the people of that society. It reflects the ideals, ideas, and ideologies of a distinct legal culture, which bleeds from the social and economic bits and pieces of a culture.
Yes, and I thought that fruits and vegetables are social construct because they're both yummy in my tummy, so they're the same thing.
We're going to be murdered when we return.
and those very much opinions on the subject, and both in their own way right.
I flee for my life.
Whoa!
Have a good day. Also, my webbed friend, before you leave, would you mind apologizing to your lord for me? I did not intend to be so rude.
Certainly.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Oh,
we do love treats.
1,000 falling leaves for you.
And back into the subject of conversation. However, that one was very right. That one had everything. He was looking into the concept of deontism. Does anybody know what deontism is?
Oh, no.
So, deontism is sort of the religion, the idea of, laws being a part of ethics. So sort of falling into ethics off of... I'm just gathering my thoughts so that I don't accidentally lie to you. It's the logic based off of obligation and duty, which is what normality bases itself into, right? Deontic logics are the logical calculus created by adding the operators that ought to be the case and permissible to a basic system, such as the propositional calculus, together with rules of interference for them, right? So a deontic logic would study interferences between these forms, telling, for instance, whether these sort of things yield together. And these principles, such as these, have proved controversial, seeing as there is no classical system of deontic logic. Good day, Sally. Apologies for that. Have a good one.
Yes, you have a wonderful evening. That's the word I'm looking for. You're fantastic. Yeah.
Indeed, Sir Malahide. Have a good one. Yes, you were standing.
Yes. No, not upon anything big, but I wondered because the mention of Parliament had crossed my mind, and it had brought up an interesting idea in my eyes because the idea of normalcy across all of Kara is quite impossible in my eyes, right? We have no such one normal, right? But we have an overlap. We have a piece of a visual diagram, if you were, that overlaps, and that seems to be Parliament or something, right? We all seem to agree on that, right? That there is this overlap of maybe not ethics, but there is an overlap of an agreeance of in a society that says, I don't know, maybe like for myself, right? I speak maybe in Stendhal. We typically always would have just dueled for a lot of our disagreements, right? We would have just said, hey, if you disagree with me, you and I are gonna go axes and helm in an arena and fix it ourselves. But we come to agree that Parliament's a little bit of a much more effective way because we share the lands with these people. So there seems to be this overlap of ethics. I'm maybe ranting, but I'm just also very curious upon this, like a society that can be very diverse yet still agree upon a single like order of law in a sense. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely correct. Now
Sword Shada is getting stronger by the sip.
Now that, my friend, was what you just said there. Without completely understanding it, that's deontic logic.
Oh shit. Okay, well damn.
The ideologies based into sort of the forming of laws. Yes, just 1 second, Secretary Doctor, and I will get right to you. Yes, Parliament is indeed, as you said, it is the area where we have all come to these together to make these agreements, because in honesty, in actuality, the person who formed Parliament was probably thinking of this in its entire goal, to make sure that the people are heard and feel like they are being listened to, feel like their ideas for normal can be brought about, can be brought onto the table. And because, let's be real, anybody can stand for their seat as long as they talk to proper people and get to stand there and have a voice in Parliament and talk, be heard. That is what Parliament is for. Parliament is for the people. Parliament is the entire determination of a society. It is what brings that normalcy there. Because let's be completely honest, my favorite gastropod, Kara, and pardon my bluntness here, Kara is full of weirdos.
Skull!
Kara is freaks. Kara is full of those who... Oh, wiggle check, everyone. Kara is full of those who have an indeterminate distinction on the societies that they were a part of. And that's wonderful, I believe. A land like this is such a perfect land because the society is so different, so skewed. Now, my friend over there, Sir Kradock.
Yes, but I wanted to say, you took a lot of it out of my own mouth. It's why Parliament is so beautiful, and it's why Parliament is so important, and it is why, in the honesty, it is disheartening when people have seats within Parliament and they do not speak. They don't speak, and thus, there are no challenges to what may be considered normalcy within the lands of Kara. And when there is no challenge to that, we become complacent. there is no challenges to it. We cannot grow with the times. We cannot adapt to new situations, to new lives, to new people. It's why, again, like I said, if you have a seat within Parliament and you believe that your voice may make some difference, even if it is a little, do not hesitate to stand, because it's what's it is what drives that institution and that governing body.
I absolutely agree. Every time I'm in Parliament and I see people who don't stand, I feel sort of not shame, but I feel a hint of what could be described as jealousy, because in a setting such as Parliament, you are able to not only determine your own values, but to place your own values upon people and speak upon them so that they can be heard and can possibly affect those who listen at Parliament and change those who really listen. Now, my friends, we actually went 15 minutes over that topic. And I do sadly have to push a topic out of the agenda at the moment due to not wanting to waste too much time. So, for those who did come here to hear the topic, what is being alive, I do apologize, as we shall now be pushing on to the next one, which is one that a few people have brought to me, including you, Mr. Nikolov. You've brought to me this question. When does killing become ethical? Very strong subject, very forward subject. And the reason why it comes forward, however, is because a majority of the reasons why people decide upon the ethics of living and dying is because people fall outside the lands of normalcy. That's why it falls under this topic, why it falls under this spectrum. Because different lands have different decisions on what can work for an execution, what can work for why people must be eliminated. However, they all tend to come to a sort of agreement. Murder tends to be something that can justify taking someone's freedoms, entrapping someone is something that can justify that. So my question here is why? And my answer to you, as that was entirely rhetorical, is that I believe that at its base, killing can become ethical when there is another individual who is infringing negatively to the point of destruction. And destruction of what, I have talked on many occasions, is the destruction of character. When one is no longer able to make their own values, able to make their own choices. That is when these sort of negative ethics come into deep play, right? So, killing someone, that is taking away the value. That is an immediate death of character. Going from that, enchanting someone and changing their brain where they can't think in the same way that they thought before, therefore taking away a set of values from them. That is also, in a part, a destruction of the character. I know this is a heavy topic. My friend, Your Majesty, please. Oh, yes, of course. Of course. Yes, and what is it you wish to say then? I shall give you time to speak in a much quieter way. Complete and ideal social isolation. Well, what a wonderful question. Thank you very much for that. Yes, my opinion on complete social isolation is sort of that really isn't as inherently unethical as many other punishments are, right? To make yourself to get put into the situation where you are isolated from the social periods is to make sure that you have time to reflect on your own values give you time to reflect even further on the values that you've already affected, and keep you from being able to during that time. Lets you sort of right your wrongs, decide what's going on there. However, sometimes people definitely do need a push. That's why the law exists. Law is meant to be this form of a push. Laws are brought together to sort of decide values from an agreed upon set of values. Yes, my friend, I don't think I've formally met you before. Are you standing to speak? No, okay. Alright then, that's also perfectly fine. But yes, what a hush to the room I've brought with this topic. What a hush indeed. It is.
Peripherals, Mr. Grantham.
Sorry,
The other
what was that?
side. Peripherals on the other side, I believe.
Ah, thank you. You there, the mixed fellow.
What? I have a query. What device completes, and by social isolation, do you mean shunning, or do you mean, like, imprisonment and, like, an isolation chamber?
Yes.
Because the two are very different in terms of ethics, in my opinion.
I do entirely agree that they are very much different. I believe that I was going off of exile, formal exile.
Okay.
So the idea of being sort of banished or shunned from the society that you caused crime within. Now, I do agree with you that to be locked away as a form of isolation, I think can be more unethical, as it does also infringe upon your value. However, as the individual in question who infringed upon other values to the point that they had to be put there, I don't think that it is exactly the same comparison, right? To put them together brings in things on a completely different scale. I also believe that killing can be ethical under the guise that an individual can no longer choose their own values. So under the guise that someone, let's go with, for an example, someone has been so enchanted to the point that even after the individual that did it is gone, they cannot return to the person that they once were. They cannot be the same. To sort of bring about the killing there, it is more of a mercy than anything. Because to not be able to make your own decisions, be your own person, write your own story, and therefore inherently have your own values, it is the same as having your slate completely wiped, in my opinion. That's where my ethics lie. When the slate is wiped, that is when the character of an individual is gone. This is most common in the form that we know of as death, as complete death. When those who sort of end up into an event where they can no longer come back. Come back from that to bring in about, say, resurrection from necromancy, while there are those that disagree with me. I believe that that is also inherently wrong, because that is trying to rewrite someone's story from memory, trying to bring about the slate, and you never get exactly as perfect as you began. But that is the topic at hand, is it not? There become moments where we have these ideals where everyone is sort of brought together. And when people fall out of that normalcy, when they bring in that abnormal situation of affecting someone else's values, that's when these things become a lot rougher. A lot rougher for most people within any land, I actually believe. But that brings on to our third and final topic that I would give some room. What happened? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, my friend, Miss Altair. Oh, you are also of the quiet. I completely forgot. Yes, of course. I shall give you time to do so. And this will be the last question on the topic, I believe. How do you decide what is too far? What sort of a person can justify that someone can't be saved, and thus death must be the answer? Well, that is in its inherent turn, it's the people who have been tasked with it from the group of normalcy. Those who are relatively tasked with being a judge, those who are tasked with being a decision maker. Those are of its basis a much rougher concept, right? That someone has to be put into that position, but it is a part of our situation, a part of our society that there needs to be someone who can make those decisions and put them together. I believe that someone is too far gone if the ethics that they are imposing on others, the negative moral connotations, are brought about into the way that can't be recovered from, thus making sure that an individual's values cannot be made themselves. That is where I believe that decision lies. But does that answer your question? Of course. And now on to final topic, and probably the biggest judge of all that can be determined, the ones that we of various beliefs fall under: religion. And how can religion interconnect with ethics? Well, at its base, they are connected in a way, in quite a weird way, because not all religion is ethical, and not all ethics are religious, right? Religion is based on the concept of moving one's spirituality. Ethics is aligning your morals into a personal spirituality. So when you bring about ethics together, when you bring about religion together, and you bring them into the same area, they connect quite well, despite being of different variety. You do not have to be religious to be ethical. You do not have to be ethical to be religious. Because you believe that the one that can judge you is the one that you believe in, the one that you have put your faith in its entirety. Faith is a fickle thing, because it is you determining your values align so well with something that you can put your entire faith, your entire belief with them, that you can bring yourself into that direction. Looking the room for questions. I don't see any inherent there, so I shall continue. Ethics and religion are sort of friends in the same way that you are friends with your enemy, right? If you are called out in various regards through religion, you may be called out for being unethical. And if you are ethical, you may be able to call out religion for being also, at its base, unethical. They're close friends that work to dissolute each other. That's why I both enjoy ethics and I also enjoy religion. It's easy to be friends with someone. It's harder to be able to judge your. I mean, I guess that leads us back into the concept of normal, when too many people develop themselves as normal. It is hard to want to fall under to that perspective. Good day, Lord Umber. To fall under that perspective of bringing everyone together. I'm sort of losing my words here, I do know that. But I hope you understand where I am coming from. Friend, do you have another question? Stand up by accident again.
Oops.
I will take that as stood up by accident again.
I do have one comment.
Yes, my favorite
I
gastropod, please.
don't know entirely what it may mean to ethically kill anyone. But there's one thing that has always stood true with me, with how I've enforced my form of law within at least Stendhal. And that it is that we have a posted set, and I'm sure you in in Stone Bay have as well, a posted set of laws and regulations. You have a clear list of how not to fuck up within your lands, yes? It is the responsibility of each citizen of each realm, of each kingdom, of each land to know these laws, to abide by these laws. I believe it is right, yeah. So it is within the citizens' purview, within their knowledge, within their responsibility to follow them, and if they so choose to step out of that, say, break a couple of laws, or a few, or more, or all of them, shit, I don't know. It is the principle of stepping out of the known and posted and formalized and, I suppose, officialized, but not always, rules, essentially, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The willingness to step out of that and to break them and to continuously and deliberately break them is what I would define as maybe not deserving of death, but is accepting of the consequences that might include death. Because it's not like a secret or a mystery that is an execution style, is there, or anything. So if like you come to these lands and you've spent more than a week, you would know at least some decent laws of the lands, right? At least maybe that's just my take on it, but yes.
I ask you this, friend, right? That we tend to fall under this perspective where breaking the laws, the lands of Kara are very chaotic. They believe in following the noetic laws entirely there, right? Bringing everything together to make sure that the intelligence is brought about. But do you know the number one reason why most people have such different opinions on these subjects? It's because empathy cannot be brought into one domain. Empathy is a completely different perspective, right? And if one is too empathetic and therefore cannot judge how someone's values are determined, it may cloud one's judgment. But if someone is not empathetic at all, it also runs into the perspective that we are going to lose our own sense of values. Empathy is important to that regard. Yes, my friend, Mr. Nikolov.
This is not related to the topic that Glade just brought up, but related to the topic of religion that you spoke on earlier.
Of
Is
course.
it ethical to use religion as a justification for one's actions, and is it a catch-all? Can you say can you permit nearly anything that would usually be socially unacceptable because it is part of one's religion?
What a big question. What a very big. I'm so glad you have asked it. Yes. So, do I believe that religion is a catch-all? No, I don't believe that religion is a catch-all into this regard, because religion still should not be the entire basis for deciding one's moral values and forcing someone else to believe in those values. However, religion is a net. It is a net with holes, but it is a net indeed, and tends to bring people back onto those decisions of forming their own moral values into its basis, into its justice. Did that answer your...
Almost.
Almost. Then please continue.
Alright, then I ask you, in the situation of a group of people are doing something reprehensible, but they are doing it in the name of their religion, is that to be treated any differently?
Well, then I ask you this. One, is this so-called reprehensible action a reprehensible action determined by the normalcy of society, or a reprehensible action because they are inflicting someone else's values against them, keeping them from being able to decide on their own values?
If it is the second, then I suppose it is unacceptable.
Then it is unacceptable, of course. forcing someone else into a mindset is very unethical. I say this on many occasions. I have said this, and I believe this entirely. I can make you sit here and hear me speak. I can speak to you as much as I want. I cannot force you to listen. Because if I am to force you to listen, then you are going to rebel even further. You are not going to listen. You are going to completely go away from the words that I wish for you to hear. Because it's not up to me on what I think you deserve to hear. It's up to you on what you believe you deserve to hear. Now, I am going to end our normal facet of topics at this moment. However, I do open the last 10 minutes floor to sort of ask me any question on ethics if you so wish. And we can go into these. Yes, my friend right there. Go ahead. Query about the topics in general. Absolutely. Ask away. Yes, very, very much so. The next symposium will realistically either address this. I choose the topics based off of what I believe people need to hear in that moment. I believed that the act of normalcy, the decision, the topic based off of normalcy within society, was too great of a topic to sort of overgo, and it was the one that people were interacting with the most. If it is determined that at the next symposium, a topic that many people need to hear or wish to hear is, of course, that one, then yes, I am more than willing to address that in a public forum. However, if you are very curious and I still have not addressed it, my door is open, my mail is open, and I can be found most anywhere. Any more questions within these last 8 minutes that anyone wishes to ask, please feel free. Going once?
Someone is standing, Mr. Grantham. At the back.
Oh, yes, there you are. Go ahead.
Yes, I would just like to add to our past topic, given that I unfortunately did not feel as though it was an immediate thing that needed to be spoken about. However, I would like to add that there can be a sort of bridge between ethics and religion. My apologies. There can be a common ground between ethics and morale and religion, whereas when one or the other oversteps said bridge and therefore makes the other side no longer safe within their own realm. That is how I believe that, relating back to our past conversation, that is how I believe that religion and ethics and morals, that is how they all come together to form a completely functioning society.
Yes, that is. I'm glad that you touched upon that. That lets me know that the inherent topic was not long enough. That I wasn't able to bring that together. Yes, no, as I had stated before, religion and ethics are allies, but they are not. Oh, sorry, they are friends, but they are not allies. There is indeed that common ground where some can come together to put into these entire determinations and bring about a harmony. And I was not able to touch on that topic. I'm so glad you brought it up onto the part that if you go too far in one direction or too far in the other direction, you're bound to lose probably both directions and end up determining values that you did not originally wish to. Any other question? It can be anything. You can ask me what my favorite food is in these last 5 minutes. I know mine.
What is your favorite food, Mr. Grantham?
It's pie.
A lovely choice.
What flavor?
Yes. Oh, well, now that's an impossible question, my friend, Mr. Nikolov, because I have a different opinion on a different mood, on a different flavor, depending on the day, on a different hour of a different minute.
What is it right now?
Apricot.
About right now.
Yes. Oh, and right now, blueberry. And right now, it's shepherd pie. Anyways, going on. Any other questions? I would just like to clear up my entire time since I have an hour and I have 5 minutes. There's nothing that any of you are curious about? Yes, Your Majesty, please go on.
Yes, I seem to be a little bit cured of my cough. So, I was wondering when the next ethics symposium may be. Is that something you'll know when?
I don't have an exact date in my mind. I try to do one a month. That is what I try to strive for. I also try to strive to mix in am I ethical, or I've also been thinking about doing an Ask Me Anything, where you can bring any questions you have on ethics, and we're not following one set topic. However, I do believe that I do believe that most of our topics would be pretty good on the next one. So hopefully within the next 2 to 4 weeks, I will be hosting another one. Just have to get the the right to use this room again.
Oh, of course. With that, may I speak to you privately after this, Mr. Grantham?
You may, of course, Your Majesty. I'm perfectly fine. There are approximately 3 minutes left on my time. Any other questions? Yes, my friend there. Well, what do you wish to ask? One of the quiet ones. Yes, to give you I apologize, but I don't believe I understand.
I believe he's asking you what your dreams are.
What my dreams are?
Yeah.
That's quite a big question. Right? Because you ask someone, what are your dreams? What do you believe in? What do you crave? Who are you? What do you believe in? And the Lands of Kara all have basic answers, simple answers. They bring it together. My current dream, as I announced yesterday while attempting to appeal to the throne, is that I wish for my own estate. There are times where I wish for a family, I dream of a family, but there are times that I dream of being admirable here, or being someone that people respect, or being someone that people know. But at its base, my dream is to make sure that people can keep following these paths, that they can keep finding themselves in this way. My dream is that more people come to me for their ethics, as many people came to me in my past. Or when I was able to find people to talk to. My brothers, my former husband, the people that I've interacted with in past, all have led me to the person I am today, to this person that brings about a dream. So my dream, I guess, to put into its essence, is to make sure that you can all realize yours too. Because I don't wish to stop moving where my hunger is. I wish to continue with my ambition. And with that, that is my entire time that I've brought into this area. So, you know what they say, especially since this is a government building. You can go anywhere, and it does not matter where you go, but you cannot stay here. Everyone, please exit.
Thank you for your hospitality and your time, Mr. Grantham. This was a wonderful time.
Oh, it's my
favorite ethical-headed man. Even though I know that's not your favorite term, but it's sticking with me. But I'll find something eventually. I can't think of a scientific word for you like you have for me. So like.
Oh yes, yes.
Alrighty. There are a couple things I wanted to say in that, but mainly because I personally am a person who looks at both sides of the coin. I like to play devil's advocate, but it's not where I stand necessarily. And I don't want to give off that impression right now. Also at the same time, character versus real life. But I think right now, essentially my character is myself, considering I've never done this type of roleplay before, and all of this. It's hard to say. One comment I was thinking of. So, in the lands of Kara, you cannot die. So, because dealing with Minecraft and everything. So, when you die in Minecraft, you are taken back to the boat, you're taken back to your spawn point, but essentially you haven't died. There are only 3 people on this server who can permanently kill you, and once they permadeath you, you would have to get a new character, that character is over and done with, and so on and so forth. So they had mentioned during one that about is murder ethical and all this, and of course there's a lot of ties in. It's interesting on this server how much like real life we kind of delve into, because that essentially plays on possibly the death penalty. Kind of hard-hitting subject there and everything. Pro-life, pro-choice, life is life matter. It's all that. We're not gonna get into that. I'm gonna stick to the Minecraft fictional version here, but I can see a lot of that you see and correlates with real life, and it's like, man, if you know, expect all of the lovely I want to say feels, but all the hard-hitting thinking. But with the aspect of how death is treated on this server. So, they were talking about exiling versus, you know, execution. Now, the point of this whole death thing and how it works is that that Kara itself has the curse. There are no children, so when you have a child, they are essentially just born into existence, into adulthood, and there is no death. And that sticks with you. So those that have decided to travel from outside of Kara into Kara, the moment they pass the border or touch land, you essentially become immortal in a sense. So if someone is killing people, because there is no death on this, so technically what do you lose? And the ethics behind it. Would exiling them, you know, would we set up an island? Would they be forced to leave Kara? Because if they are hurting and killing people here in Kara without consequences, essentially, because if they kill a person, that person's gonna come back. Is it fair to the rest of the world to unleash that kind of, say, power against them? So if we exile them from Kara, they are unable to die themselves. But people outside of Kara, who haven't touched Kara, have the ability to pass. There is, you know, a finite to that person is gone. But there's no way to take care of the person that came from Kara because they have the curse. But there are ways of permadeathing, and apparently that, as I'm assuming, only exists within the lands of Kara. So, I don't know. And then, Zvago, can't say their name properly, but, Minister Kradark? Something Kradark. The beginning of what he was saying, and then that led into, you know, going into Parliament or whatnot, and how they were, you know, kind of disappointed that people partook in Parliament, which Parliament works kind of like how the UN works, is that we have all these affiliations and all these factions. There's no R in there, Mora. We hold a census at the end of the month, which determines how many seats are available for each faction at Parliament. And then those who choose to be part of Parliament, you know, get on the seat and all that. This last Parliament, that was my first Parliament, and I don't know what it was like beforehand. But based off what I'm hearing is that there wasn't a lot of back and forth, and there wasn't a lot of, which, from my standpoint, it seemed decent. But what I've also noticed from that is that it looked like there were quite a few new people on Parliament. Now, I naturally am an observer. I like to sit back and watch and read the room and all this type of loveliness and all the stuff. But, oh goodness. Words fail me. And we're almost home. Speaking of, like, I'm trying to think of how to correlate what I was thinking. So we're talking about what is normal and not normal. And went into the speech and thought of normalcy. I can't even get my thoughts and words together and how to thoroughly express this. Another reason why I didn't say anything, because it takes me this long to get things together. But I viewed the way normalcy was portrayed as sort of a predictability. If you set the laws, then you predict that today is going to be a good day. And those who go against normalcy or become unpredictable, I think people in themselves do not like surprises. We like to go about our day and doing our things with as little hiccups as possible. And the more hiccups and the more severe a hiccup translates and concludes as not normal. And Kradark referring to, you know, keeping ourselves safe as well. But at the same time, they're bringing up the whole judgment thing. You don't want to judge people. It is a bunch of real life stuff, man. I mean, hang on a moment. Come here. The cats have fleas, and I'm getting fleas on myself. I need to, go get the spray! Oh, goodness. Hang on just a moment. There it is. I kind of got it. And I lost it. So close, yet so far. But, devil's advocate is, do we truly want to force or normalcy? Because they even said that when you force others into a sort of standards and box, then life is complicated and contradictory. Because I do agree, we all have our own sets of this is normal for me, and things that go against our normal at first we don't like. It is natural that it rubs against us, and that rubbing causes friction. But certain rubbings on certain material either weakens the bond or strengthens the bond, and you learn and grow from it. Hello. So, it's interesting to see how a simple, what you would refer to as a child's game, in this aspect is so deep and so profound. Well, we've been going for how long now? 3 hours, and it's mainly just been me sitting there staring. So I would like to end off with what has changed around here. So we have the house. I don't have the lectern here anymore, and my little farm there is missing. So what I ended up doing, which I don't know how much of last time has been viewed and said and done and such. Okay, I was gonna say, why is there no lava dripping? Did someone go and steal my lava out of there? So I moved the cows up here. So we got a little pen. And I built a greenhouse. It is not much, but I like it dearly. So I got potatoes, carrots, wheat. I haven't seen beetroots yet. I do want to get clay and make pots and have them on here. This side I've left open. I would like to get bees in here, and to make sure they stay in, I most likely will have to block all this off. What I would like to do is make, there's a witch. All of this kind of like a field of some sort. I do want to get, I noticed some sort of past bill or something about water irrigation. So I need to put some wells in. Curious on how I can portray that there, but we'll deal with that later. And for this, it's empty. Now, Amora, why is it empty? There's nothing here. Everything is gone. Well, I forget what I was doing. And I had a knock on the door. And on the other side was Detective, I'm assuming that's what the DET stands for. Detective Bridget Malhide. Now, Detective Malhide is the constable of the Silver Mines. Now, my memory is awful. Very, very bad. Very, very bad. But anyway, side note. I am debating on whether or not to tear this all down and rebuild a little structure there as like a little storage shed, or completely tear it down because I do need a sheep pen and chickens. Which, at that thought, the chickens and eggs, thank you very much. And get food. And all this sort of fun stuff. So, the city of Stone Bay, because you know how those who are familiar with Minecraft, we go out, we find a piece of land, we make a farm, and we ranch and dig and do all this stuff. Well, the city of Stone Bay is trying to get people to move with inside the walls. Now, I'm alright. Does that mean we have to go all the way back to Stone Bay? No. No, we do not. So, Detective Malhide was asking if I was interested in living in the city. One, I personally grew up on a farm. I like my space. I don't really care for neighbors. I have an interesting neighbor story. Okay, I'm going to start off with. So, we have a house, a huge field, and then the barn, and then our shop. And around the barn and the shop was a ring that my dad was a truck driver, and he basically wore a path around both. I used to walk around that path. Now, the path hugged really close to the neighbor's house. And at one point in time, they had a fence, and then they moved, and the new owners came in and tore down that fence. So it's just one giant yard. She stepped in my way one day when I was walking and asked if I wanted to date her son. Now, mind you, I don't know this woman. I have never seen other people over at her house. So, didn't know she had a son. Third, oh my gosh. She invited me in her house to go see pictures of him, and I respectfully declined. And I did not feel comfortable walking when she was outside after that. I would have to do like a scope and see if she was out, and then go out and start walking. And then once she came out, once I went around the barn, I went straight back to the house. And all that fun stuff. So neighbors just kind of creep me out. It's just what it is. Sorry, I got another one. I really do need to be go getting the spray. So I need to hurry this up and all the funness. So I left my personal in there and said I would prefer not to be near people. I kind of like, you know, this. I like my space to do my building and all this type of stuff and have my animals and my farm and so on and so forth. But to play off as my character has moved to many, many countries, trying to find her family, trying to find answers, this, that, and the other. She's tired of moving. This is her last stop. She has to find answers here or everything is over and done with. So she doesn't want to move all the way back to Stone Bay. And then Detective Malhide said, well, what about Steward's Cross? Where is Steward's Cross? I have no idea what you're talking about. I did notice, however, an expansion over by the silver mines. So what used to be across the yard was stables. Well, the stables are gone, and instead are a couple little buildings surrounded by a tall wall. So there's the back of the mountain there. So as you can see, there's a wall. And they moved a couple of the NPCs from inside Stone Bay to out here. So some of the vampire hunters are out here. I was offered to move inside here. Now, mind you, no one else lives here. The constable comes by to keep an eye on the mine and everything, and that portion, well, not this tower, but there was this building over here. This, where basically she stays. They do have some lodgings and whatnot. There's free food, lost and found, and such. So I was asked if I would like to move in. So we got 4 little buildings here. And this is my house. See? See? Home of me. And Detective Malhide used my last name, so we've got Mantis officially in our name, everybody. We are officially a Mantis. Haha. Ad Astra. Huh? Is somebody else in here now? Somebody's coming. And somebody is going. Wait. Is somebody else here now? It's not just me. There was a doggo up here. Interesting. Or somebody thinks they can claim a building. I don't know. I might have to bring that up with Detective Malhide. But I built this little house. I was, you know, I gotta stay in uniform here. So I took elements from all the builds. I got the circular holes. There, I did have trapdoors up here, but I wanted more light. I tried working this into like this, but I could only go so far. Having these are my own special touch, even having the buttons, and then top circular for up there. So it is a 3-story building with a basement. I am not done decorating. So coming in, we have the kitchen. So I need dining room, like a dining table and chairs over here. My foot itches now. Make sure if you have animals, it is peak flea season, to put medication on them, please. Save your feet from being bitten. So I got my sink, I got my oven and stuff, my fridge, eggs, utilities barrel, and all the dry goods barrel. Haha. Down here is the basement and the storage area. So I've got all of this going, all the barrels, because chests are counted as entities. They have not fixed barrels to be as such, so you can have as many barrels as you would like and it won't cause lag. Can't say the same for chests and lecterns. The more of those you have, it counts it as like a cow. 1 chest is a cow. 10 chests is a herd, so on and so forth. Foot itches. I put a bathroom in because I noticed a sanitation act or something. So I have a shower and a sink and a toilet. And it's down here out of the way. Next floor I will use as like a living room type situation. Have some sofas and whatnot. Maybe build a fireplace. And up here is my personal bedroom. Originally I had like the bathroom over here, but it seemed kind of So there's a wall and monsters fall down and they stand there, and so I blocked that off. Also, somebody can jump in and get straight to the house. Not the fact that they can't walk through the door. And then my own veranda. So I have my desk and my writing. I have my journal in here. So, got permission from the Prime Minister to be here. Even when I was building, people, like, because this was empty and kind of used as, you know, server-wide thing. And not personal use. And everyone's like, I don't think you're supposed to build there. I'm like, I have permission. In fact, I think I read it in one of the last vids. Greetings, I hope this letter finds you most well, for I have wonderful news. After speaking briefly to the Prime Minister, she's allowed the moving of people into Stewart's Cross. Furthermore, the fellows from South Orland have made their way up here. Now it's a matter of moving a decorative piece so you can set up a house. Please come see me at Stewart's Cross as soon as possible so that way we can get to talking about rehoming. You hear good tidings. Now, about my animals and such. Kind of the future plans that I was told about was this campsite they're either going to move or entirely get rid of, and the stables are going to be brought up here, so my animals will be brought over. Now, here's the thing. We just got out of an ethics situation, and our good old frog friend, one of the Lord River Pebbles, I don't remember that being glass. Anywho. Publicly executing my animals for my stuff might be frowned upon. Just saying. So I even had brought it up to Detective Malahide to keep my land and reform it as a sort of ranch and field. But they were also talking about, okay, so we have this going now. A path? I don't remember a path being here. But they would like to turn this into a field. And I saw a notice this morning that they asked someone to take down all the trees here. And that was done. So yeah, this is what has been happening. Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't want to put lanterns there because there was no windows. Yeah, I still have some decorating to do. I need to make some decisions about over there. And all the fun things. But it has been 3.5 hours of me pretty much sitting there doing nothing but thinking. I do need to work out a better way of kind of voicing my thoughts to you guys during these said events, because I could be saying what's on my mind. That way you guys know what's going on, but I'm not interrupting the event and not overpowering them for you guys. So I'll work on that. I can also get on my roof. Gonna have to, you know. Close the door course, people, we have an electricity bill. Not that I know. I don't know. But squeeze past the sterna. And whoop. We are on the roof, and you don't belong on the roof. But yeah, the wall there gets really close and such. There's even a pig in a tree. Yeah, they're off. But so yeah, this is the Valence SMP. What is tomorrow? I'm gonna check. The weekends are usually packed with events. Tomorrow, goblins are back, so there's a fight. There's an Ask the Admin. Food Wars, Parliament, Spirit Weeks, Cross-Continent Pet Pursuit. Sure. That one's new. There's Chess Championship, Parliament. There's a tournament. Scrabble, Parliament, Halloween, Christmas. Got it. Bunch of fun things. I have to keep a calendar of this stuff, and new events means more things to add. But thank you guys for hanging out, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye-bye!